Welcome to History of Mayan Students in Palm Beach County. My name is Sonia Cabrera Lopez. I am a member of the Maya Mam people of Guatemala. I would like to introduce to you my co-presenters for this presentation.
Thank you. My name is Dominga Shunkash, and I'm the Kanjobal/Akateko translator in the school district of Palm Beach County. I have been with the district for 25 years, and I really appreciate for choosing to be with us this morning or this afternoon or this evening. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maria Hernandez. I'm a social service facilitator with the Multicultural Department of the Palm Beach School District. So I'm happy to be with you, and I hope you enjoy our presentation about the Mayan culture.
Hi, my name is Zoila Jimenez Shunkash. I'm the interpreter of the school district, and I speak Kanjobal and Akateko.
Thank you, ladies, and welcome to you all as well. And thank you for providing us such insightful information about the Mayan people here in Palm Beach County and the Mayan culture. Today, we're going to share with you a little bit of the richness of our ancestors, the Mayas of Guatemala. The history of the Mayas cannot be told in a few minutes. This informational session will provide you with tips and resources to help you better understand Mayan students in your classroom as well as their parents. Today's agenda will cover history and culture, languages, early refugees and recent arrivals, the educational system of Guatemala as well as the ancient Mayan educational system, and resources to assist you in your classroom. Before we continue, we are going to do the welcoming ritual. You will need something to write with, a pen, a paper, or take notes on your device. We will review the answers to these questions at the end of the presentation. So let's look at question number 1, and please write down your answers as we will review it. Number 1, where are the Mayas located? How many Mayan languages exist in Guatemala today? True or false? All Mayan students and their parents speak Spanish. Name one contribution of the Mayas to civilization. Name 2 Mayan languages spoken by students in the school district of Palm Beach County. Where did the first Mayan families settled in Florida? True or false? Mayan students are Hispanics. We are not Hispanics. Why then be part of the Hispanic Studies Institute? Historically and geographically speaking, Guatemala does belong to the Hispanic countries. It is as it is shown on this map. However, as a descendant of the Mayas, I do not consider myself Hispanic, and many members of the Mayan community feel the same way. As you or may not know, or you know, my ancestors, the Mayas, belong to the Native Americans or indigenous people that encompasses Alaska to South America, natives to the continent of the Americas before the invasions from European countries. The English in North America, the Spaniards in Central and South America, and other European countries, such as Portugal in Brazil. As we continue with this presentation, it is our goal to share with all of you the richness and contributions of our ancestors, the Mayas of Guatemala, the past, the present, the future, and our hopes for our children here in Palm Beach County. We would also provide resources and tips on best practices to assist Mayan students in your classroom.
Mayan artists were exceptionally skilled at stone sculpture and stonework. They were also skilled in making pottery. Some of the most striking works of art are the Maya's portrait of themselves. Music was central to Mayan ceremonies, celebrations, and life events. They used conch shells for trumpets and turtle shells as drums. In addition, they used the marimba and flutes. Mayans made use of well-developed and advanced writing system, comprised of symbols and images known as glyphics and hieroglyphics. In the past, the Mayans traveled around using mules. They used canoes to travel by the sea. They used this mode of transportation to transport their commerce to different places. They also carried their goods on their backs by using handmade sacks of woven from natural fibers. Mayan gastronomy is comprised of different types of meats, grains, fruit, and vegetable. One of the most common grain is corn, used to make tortillas, tamales, and drinks mixed with cacaos. Cacao is one of the contributions of the Mayas in the world today. The cacao is used to make chocolate, a sacred drink for the Mayas. Ancient Mayas were well educated. They used a hieroglyphic writing system to keep their records. They wrote on paper, cloth, or animal skin. They also developed a counting system based on the number 20 and sophisticated calendar. The Mayas were one of the three civilizations to develop the concept of zero. This is another contribution to the world today. The contribution of the Mayas to the world today is evident in all aspects. There is also a dark side of Mayan history, especially after the invasion of Spain during colonial times and post-colonial times. The Mayas endured genocide and slavery. During the second phase of the war that began on the late 1970s, Guatemala's indigenous community endured the worst genocide in Guatemala history. The war left thousands dead and drove tens of thousands to Mexico and United States. A large number of Mayans arrived in Indiantown, Lakeward, and Immokalee in the early 80s. Mayan children enrolled in public school in Palm Beach, Immokalee, and Indiantown. Most children enrolled at Hope Rural Catholic School in Indiantown, Highland Elementary School in Lakeward, and Pinecrest Elementary School in Immokalee. However, not all the children went to school. Many Mayan children work for different reasons. Others lack information about school registration. Others fear being discriminated or ignored once they were in school.
Because of the systematic oppression, discrimination, lack of opportunities, and environmental factors. Many Mayas continue to seek refugee to the United States. Many take the risk of traveling on the trenes de muerte, death of train, across Mexico since they do not possess visas to travel through Mexico. Mayan children have graduated from Palm Beach County and have graduated from the university. They work with the police department, the healthcare district, the school district, law firms, and nonprofit organizations. Mayan languages are spoken in Guatemala, southern Mexico, and Belize. But today, we are going to focus on the Mayan languages spoken in Guatemala. There are 25 languages in Guatemala. 22 are Mayan, Xinca, Garifuna, and Spanish. The Mayan languages in Guatemala range from millions of speakers to just a few thousand. The largest language in Guatemala is Quiche, where about 2 million people speak it, followed by Quechua, Mam, and Cachiquel. Garifuna is spoken by about 200,000 people. The root language of Garifuna is Arawakan, considered the largest language in South America. Xinca, there are about 264,000 people who speak the Xinca language. Xinca language is not related to any Mayan language nor Aztec language. It is not known where the language originates from. Spanish is the official language of Guatemala.
Thank you. At this time, we are going to do an activity with all of you and see how well you learn some phrases in Akateko, Mam, and Kanjobal. This activity will give you an opportunity to learn some phrases in these Mayan languages. It is amazing how the environment changes for a student or a parent when one is able to greet them in their own language. This activity will also give you an insight into how difficult it is to learn another language and to learn new sounds and use different facial muscles. The Mayan languages are written using most of the Spanish alphabet. However, there are some letters of the alphabet that is not used. For example, the letters C, D, F, G, V, and Z. This can cause misunderstanding in pronunciation for the student learning English. It is also important to keep in mind when a student is having difficulties in the pronunciation of certain letters when you're teaching phonics, not to make rush referrals to the ESE department. It takes time and patience for the student to learn these sounds, especially if they're not used to using certain letters. For example, let's look at the letter F, fish, and you keep insisting in teaching the student to learn the letter sound F. It's going to take some time, and it will happen. The students will learn it. I learned it. My co-presenters learned it. So a little patience can go a long way. Let's look at the lesson plan for today. We will start with the Akateko language.
Welcome. Bat Ulal Shach Huli. Bat Ulal Shach Huli. Let's repeat it all together. Bat Ulal Shach Huli. How are you? What mia cool. What mia cool. Let's repeat it. What mia cool. What is your name? Set up E. Set up E. Thank you. Yuchan Dios. Yuchan Dios. All together. Yuchan Dios.
Thank you, Soila. Wow. I learned a new word in Akateko, and that is set a B. What is your name? So this helps me when I go to the different schools when they say, "Can you help this student?" If I can just use that one word, if the student responds to me, then I know that student speaks Akateko. Okay, now I'm going to teach you the same phrases in Mam. Let's look at the first word. Welcome. Tulena. Tulena. All together now. Tulena. How are you? Sentaya. Sentaya. All together now. Sentaya. What is your name? Titiya. 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 Thank you. Chonte. 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 And now we will hear the same phrases in Kanjobal.
Okay, let's start. Welcome. Vat ulal shashayoko. Vat ulal shashayoko. One more time. Vat ulal shashayoko. How are you? Vat al ohul. Vat al hak ohul. Vat al ohul. What is your name? Set yok habi. Set yok habi. One more time. Set yok habi. Thank you. Yuhwal Dios. Yuhwal Dios. Again, Yuhwal Dios. Thank you.
Thank you. Learning more different kind of phrases in different languages. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Mayan education in Guatemala. Most classical education shows that the Mayans were well educated, having a wide range of writing and astronomical knowledge. The Mayans knew with great accuracy the synodic revolutions of the planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. They calculate the periods of the moon, the sun, and the stars, such as the constellation, which mark the beginning of some religious festivals. Education in Guatemala is a free mandatory program from first to sixth grade. Mayan parents, students, and those who live in the rural area find it impossible to afford education after sixth grade. For reference, a private high school in Guatemala costs between $600 to $1,200 a year. An exception to this burdensome fee would be acquiring a scholarship from a nonprofit school. The academic requirements are strenuous, which is why many rural areas find it difficult to pass the requirements. The educational system in Guatemala is divided into three levels. Primary, which is 6 years, first to sixth grade. Básico, 3 years, 7th to 9th grade. And secondary education, or diversificado, is the upper secondary education, 3 years, 10th to 12th grade. University-level education is available, but not affordable for the majority of the Mayan population. The language of instruction is Spanish, but after the peace agreement between the government and the guerrillas, some areas of Guatemala are learning how to read and write in their Mayan language. The lack of funding, technology, teachers, classroom space, it makes it impossible to have a good education. And also, it includes the low income for teachers, discourage an efficient system of education. With the onset of COVID-19, virtual teaching might as well be foreign. Many teachers have had to use technology without training. It is imperative to understand that many newcomers will not have the knowledge we do regarding virtual learning. But the most important one is that you need to understand that some of the high school students, they never had that opportunity to be in a school environment. The best way to meet the needs of Mayan students: first, find out if an interpreter is needed in the home language. If it is, use the Form 1944 to request an interpreter if your school does not have a Mayan language community facilitator. This same form is also used to request for other indigenous languages through the language line. The Mayan team is here to assist you by bridging communication with students and families. The transition for many newcomers is not easy. Learning a new language, adapting, learning new norms and education system takes time. For many Mayan students and their families, it is even more challenging. Everyone assumes all Mayan children and families speak Spanish. As we have learned, this is not the case. And also, keep in mind that many of those young students in high school are alone in this country. So they're trying to find a balance between being in a different country, learning a new language, and trying to balance with the work. So you just need an extra patience, and we really appreciate what you do for our students, for our people.
As we are coming to the conclusion of our presentation, let us look at the answers to the first activity. So if you have south of Mexico, Guatemala, Salvador, and Honduras, to question number 1, where are the Mayas located? You are correct. How many Mayan languages exist in Guatemala today? And that would be 22. True or false? All Mayan students and their parents speak Spanish. And that would be false, because we have Mayan languages and not all of students and their families speak Spanish. Name one contribution of the Mayas to civilization. If you have the concept of zero or chocolate, that is correct. Name 2 Mayan languages spoken by students in the school district of Palm Beach County. If you have Mam, Akateko, Kanjobal, Quiche, or another one that's not listed here, you are correct. Question number 6. Where did the first Mayan families settle in Florida? And that would be Indiantown. And finally, number 7. True or false? Mayan students are Hispanics. Again, Mayan students are indigenous, not Hispanics. These are some recommendations of books to read. Maya in Exile focuses on the early Mayas in South Florida, where they settled, the types of jobs that they did, and why they came to the United States. Marco Antil, an immigrant, narrates his journey to the United States, his struggles and success. Marco Antil is founder and chief operating officer of Shumac, a leading digital marketing company. Since Shumac's inception in the late 2003, it has provided services to companies across more than 25 countries worldwide. El Tapiz de Abuela focuses on the importance of weaving and meanings of symbols and colors. It also has a lot of geometry in this book that is described in the weavings. Other books to read out loud to children in elementary school would be The Chocolate Tree. It also talks about the mythology of where chocolate comes from. Voices from Exile is written by a Mayan author, experiences and testimony of Mayan families as they exiled Guatemala into Mexico and the United States. So these are a few resources and books that we recommend that could help you understand Guatemala and Mayan students in your classroom. We also have listed a few websites. These websites can also help you through reading different articles. We cannot guarantee that the website will be available, as we know information changes daily. As things are updated, we also try to update that information for you. Again, thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, concerns, or need assistance, please feel free to reach out to one of us. You can reach us by email, cell phone, or the office phone. Tweet us out and share your experience via Facebook or other social media. Thank you. Chonte.
Entendió, Shashoketa.
Yuhual Dios.
Yuchen Dios.